Hey, welcome back, guys. Like and subscribe. Um, Today, I wanted to talk a little bit about these stock analyzer tools. A lot of big YouTubers use them, and a lot of them actually sell them. I didn't know. We're going to go over Tom Nash's. I didn't know he had one. Tom Nash is pretty known in the financial community. I don't think Tom is his real name, but I mean, who cares? Some people have, I guess, a problem with that, but um, none of us really probably use our real name. Kevin does, but Jeremy does. There is some that do, but some that don't. That doesn't really bother me. That's not the point. It matters what kind of information you're putting out there. And I do listen to Tom Nash every once in a while. And if I do get a stock analyzer tool, it'd be like Everything Money's or Tom Nash's. So, and I'm not sure if he's just like affiliated with them or if he made this himself. But this is kind of a two birds with one stone because he's going to go over Tesla and how Tesla bulls value the stock. And I kind of want to go over then my next video, the way I would value the stock. And maybe you guys in the comments could tell me which one's better or not, because to me, let's just hear what he has to say. Maybe I'm just crazy.
Overvalued or undervalued. Obviously, the stock is down a lot over this past few months. Everybody's seen that. But, the stock being down or up doesn't really mean anything. Now, classically, we would do this. We would go through the fundamentals of the company, look at the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow, the ratios. You can do all that. By the way, I'm on stockmvp.com. I can go through the financials, the income statement, the balance sheet, the cash flow, analyze it, make my own decision. Cool. And I will. But before
See, in my opinion, there's really no need to do that when if the company's clearly overvalued. Like, there's no need to go into like, let's take this pen for example. Like, if I say it's a $10,000 pen, but I've written a lot of checks with it. It doesn't matter what I've done with the pen or what the pen. It's not worth it. It's overvalued. So there's no need to break it open and see the mechanics on the inside. You can just go buy a pen for 50 cents. But let's hear. Maybe there's something I'm missing.
before I get started, I want to kind of get a bird's eye view, a high level analysis of whether this company is overvalued or undervalued. There's a quick way to do that. Usually, it requires a couple of hours. Before we go through those couple of hours,
No need to.
it might be smart to just check out what's going on. Now, this is a little DCF tool we've built. Say hello to my little friend. Now, this DCF tool is going to kind of do the work for you so you can do it instead of in 3 hours and 3 minutes and get kind of an initial estimate about the stock before you dive deep. Now, it's already showing Tesla. I've pre-prepared this, like somebody, like the cooking shows when they put the thing in the oven and then they open the oven, magically it's done after a minute. But I haven't populated it. So basically right here, we have a classic DCF model. The system will already kind of show you what the EBITDA is for year one right here. It does a TTM, trailing 12 months. And what you can do here is you can actually populate everything yourself
I
without
look at
touching
the
anything.
last 12
Obviously,
months
I can
too.
fill out these myself, whatever I want.
Whatever
But
you
I
want.
can also use this tool right here. So if I say that I want, let's say, to give Tesla a 25% annual growth rate for EBITDA for the next 5 to 6 years, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years.
Which this does sound fair. I mean, 25%. You could even go up a little bit, for the next 5 years, but 5 or 6 years, but eventually, that percentage will shrink substantially.
Here is 25%. Depreciation amortization, we have here, again, trailing 12 months. Let's make it 20% growth every year. And CapEx growth, we're going to build a lot of factories, so let's do 20% growth, right? Let's be aggressive here. Super aggressive on the expenses and very, very careful with the EBITDA growth percentage. We're going to click populate right here, and we're going to have all the results prepared for us. Now, the next thing we're going to say is, dear system, can you give me the valuation? And it will say, sure. What we have to do here is feed the long-term growth rate and the discount rate. Now, obviously, some of you are advanced users and you're going to put in your own long-term growth rate. I don't advise you put anything above 4% because it's pretty much going to send the stock to the moon. So keep it 4 and below. Discount rate, again, 10%.
Is it me, or is this seeming like this is to make stocks look like they're going to shoot to the moon? Are these analyzer tools just tools that make it look like, you're just going to go straight to the moon when you put some numbers in that you fabricated? Not looking good for these.
10% is considered standard, 12% is very conservative, 14% is uber conservative, 8% is very aggressive. So you decide for yourself. I'm going to use 12% just to keep it super, super conservative. And I'm going to click calculate. That's it. My evaluation is done. Okay.
So as you can see, is with a fair valuation, that's very fair, especially in this kind of market, to value the company the way he just did. 25% growth in the next 5 to 6 years. Very, very, very fair. That is saying that the stock should only be $91.30. That means it's 53% overvalued. And in my opinion, the best case scenario. But again, you can fabricate any one of these numbers to put in there to make your stock look amazing.
So, boom, I go right here and it shows me current share price is $194. This DCF valuation gives it $91.30, which means that the stock is overvalued by 53% and 15 decimal points, right? Cool. Okay, now, here's the interesting part. Now let's say I want to play around with my assumptions a little bit. Let's say that Tesla has more than 25% EBITDA growth rate, right? Let's do 35%.
Okay, fine.
We click populate.
I'll let it
We
slide.
click calculate. Boom. The stock is still overvalued by 23%. Interesting, right? Okay. Now let's say we're going to use 10%.
So super, super duper best case scenario in 5 to 6 years, the company's still overvalued by 23%, and that brings the value to $150, which is what I've said pretty much since I've started vlogging, or whatever this is called. Now, I'm amateurish, but without their stock analyzer tool, I came up with $150. Now, their reasoning is completely terrible. We'll get into that.
10% discount rate instead of 12. We're going to be a little bit more aggressive. The discount rate is basically how much you're expecting from the company. We're going to check out how much we get right now. So based on this 10%, we're getting sharp, right on the money, undervalued by 4.73%.
He had to put
But basically,
numbers in.
What I'm here to show you is two things. Number one, stockmvp.com, it has this beautiful tool, this DCF calculator, which you
whatever this tool that he's promoting is pretty much, I think, like Everything Money's tool. But this is literally how these Tesla bulls value the stock, when there's clearly a simple way to value the stock without a stock analyzer tool.
which you can use even without doing anything like financial. You notice I haven't put in anything into the cells. It populated itself. I just kind of put in my assumptions and that's it. But obviously you can feed all of this yourself. Look, I can change it as much as I want. You can do it as well. So that's the first thing. The other thing I wanted to show you beyond this tool, which you can get on stockmvp.com, is the fact that this valuation is very, very subjective. I can make it look like it's overvalued, undervalued.
Then what the hell is this tool? What's useful about it? If you can just make up stuff, I can do that in my head. And you do have to kind of make up a little bit to kind of get an idea of the future. But you can do all this just in your head. You don't. I am still unclear on why a stock analyzer tool is any sort of necessary.
Question here is not the model, is what kind of assumptions you put into it. Because let's say we put in 50% annual growth. Calculate. Then the company is 100% undervalued, right? So everything here is about the assumptions. And the assumption is where it's at. It's not about the model.
All right, guys. I've heard enough to go ahead and say I'm not buying a stock analyzer tool unless my way is completely garbage and people are like, hey, no, you really need a stock analyzer tool. I'm not seeing where any sort of value it brings. Maybe it gives you a more understanding of the numbers. But, I mean, you could really do that